Alright guys, welcome back. Don't go nowhere. We're on the Gen 4, but we're going to the 2GR. Anyways, I love my Gen 4. Everybody seems to love my Gen 4. Since I've bought the 2GR, a lot of guys have been reaching out. Somebody wants to buy this Gen 4. I'm not ready to part with it yet, so we're just enjoying the Gen 4 for now. But I know you guys want to see 2GR content, so let's head over to the 2GR engine and see what's going on. Alright, so we're back on your favorite topic, which is the 2GR FE. So I got some more parts. Didn't get a lot of parts, but you know, more parts are on its way. So they're slowly coming in, so I want to share with you guys what came in. I got a water pump, so here's the Ison water pump. It came with the gasket and everything, so here you have it, the gaskets and all the seals, water pump, and I'll show you guys the part number right now. So you can see it is, there you go, Ison, that's our part number for water pump. So in case you're curious where that goes, it goes right here. So this is our water pump pulley, and all of this is basically going to get replaced. So I hope by the end of this video I can get this pump, at least this piece off. I may just pull the actual water pump when I'm going to do the replacement, but you guys will see that coming up. And what we like to do on this channel is just show everybody how everything is done, because you know, you can say it, but the visual aspect of seeing how it's done and taking the time to describe and explain, I think it's really helpful. It helps me a lot when I look at YouTube videos, so hopefully it's helping you guys. And I believe it is, because I get the feedback from you folks. So anyways, we got a water pump, so I'm going to change that since I'm in here and I have the engine out, because I think this is not possible to do with the engine in the car. I got an oil filter, again, simple oil filter. This is the belt with AC, so here is the part number. It's from Bando. I've used these belts, I'm very happy with them. So this is going to be able to run an AC. I haven't bought the AC compressor yet, so when that comes in, we'll share it with you guys. Also got some spark plugs. This is ones I went with, the NGKs. So it's a 6-cylinder, so you're going to need 6 of these. So we got some spark plugs, and it's LFR6CGP, something like that. I don't have my glasses on, so hopefully I didn't get it right. So zoom in and make sure you guys know what it is. These are some seals I got for the oil bung when I changed the oil. And I did also get these gaskets, which are for the water neck. So on the opposite side of the engine here, the water neck, you're gonna need 2 of these gaskets. So here we go, all right? So again, you'll see this more when I put everything back, but just wanted to kind of share some of the parts that I'm getting, because once we start putting stuff in, or taking stuff off, we want no hassle. We just want everything to flow and get reinstalled. Yeah, I was gonna buy the TCS coolant hoses and radiator hose, but you know, after research online, I got some part numbers from Gates. This will go on the passenger side. From what I understand, it's gonna require some cutting. And then we have the heater core hoses. So again, Gates, these are the part numbers. So I've heard these should work. They're gonna go again on the water neck side. So you'll see where these go on, but these were much less inexpensive, lower cost, you know, and hey, they're OEM pieces, so they should do the job well. So I wanted to try to save some funds, so that's what I did. All right, moving back on the engine, we're gonna get it painted today. So let's jump right into getting this thing painted. Hopefully I have enough paint. I have half a can of the flat aluminum, so I don't know if I'm gonna run out of paint, but I'm gonna try to make it work with that. If not, we'll have to finish it up in another video, but we're gonna start attacking the paint work today. And we're also gonna try to get this crank pulley off, the water pump pulley off, and this whole thermostat housing and the pipe that runs down the V channel here out, so I can get it properly painted, and then thermostat, all of that stuff is gonna get replaced. So let's jump right into that and get this done. I cleaned this engine with soap and water and degreaser, because I'm gonna get ready to paint this thing. And I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this is as good as I could get. All that oxidation, you can see where I try to get in close, but this is some stubborn oxidation, let me tell you, from Boston area. So the goal here is to paint this. Hopefully it looks, well, it will definitely look a lot better. I got a new water pump, we're gonna change that right there. I'm gonna take that crank pulley off, change the seal back there. I'm gonna change that idler. I took the tensioner off, which goes right in this spot. So that's off. I had that painted. Took the dipstick out because we're getting that modified. Bringing it closer to the block so it doesn't hit the firewall on the MR2 when we install it. Now I'm going to paint the block, and then we're going to move on to the valve covers and do some servicing items, but it's coming along. It's just taking some time. Just a lot of oxidation. This is, get over to my messy bench here. That's the tensioner. I cleaned it up. So I'm going to try to reuse that thing. I had it painted. I'm gonna say this is a fairly good job for now. I did actually run out of paint, but I'll show you where I'm at in terms of what I was able to get covered. So this is one side. As you can see, it looks okay. There are a couple little spots I can put a little bit more, but I was trying to stretch it to make it work. So I'm gonna end up going to the store, getting some more paint. So we have this bank done on the front of the engine. I got some of that painted, but I have to take these pulleys off to paint it properly. So we're gonna work on that as well. And then we'll head over to the other side. So all in all, I mean, it's looking much better. You know, the oxidation was just crazy on this engine. So here it is. This is what we're looking like. Now, once I get the water pump out, replace that, get the thermostat area out and paint that, take those valve covers off and get some color on those, I think it will start looking good, but definitely looking much better than what it was before with all that oxidation work. All right, so that's our engine to date, and let's go ahead and get this water pump off and attempt to get the crank pulley off, because that bolt is torqued on there, so hopefully I can get it off without much drama. So right now I'm going to try to get this water pump pulley off, because it's going to give me access to paint these areas, and you also need to get it off to pull the bolts for your water pump, and there are a lot of bolts, right? Now with that said, we also have to take off, this is where your thermostat sits. So inside of here, this is basically the thermostat housing. We have to pull these off as well. So it looks like we got one nut here, two bolts here, and that should free this thing loose. I'll show you up top when we get there, but let's focus on getting this pulley off, and we're gonna move on to taking this thermostat. So I figured I'd use a 12mm wrench and kind of hold this thing here, hold one of the bolts, and then try to crack at least 3 of these. On the last one, I don't know how that will work, but this is what I'm doing to try to get this off. Now this last one is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see if I can get it off. Like, nope, it's going to be turning. So I'm going to try to put something in here to block this pulley and then turn that one off. That did the trick. I just used my impact because I wasn't comfortable putting something through here to hold it. So just use your impact. How we tighten this, we'll have to figure it out. I'm probably going to have to put like a chain strap around the pulley to get it torqued. But this did the job pretty quickly. Let's just knock these out. Look at this water pump. It's circular. I'm going to show you the new one that I bought. And I did a little bit of research. Apparently this is the newer design from Toyota. I don't know what is special about this design, but I've heard these pumps do not fail, but these tend to fail. So initially I was going to keep the pump, but now I'm actually kind of glad I went with this pump. So it should be the same, looks to be the same. So yeah, so this will be a new pump that we're going to replace. We're going to get this guy out. Now, as you can see here, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 14 bolts that I can see so far, along with the ones from the thermostat housing. So quite a lot of bolts for this water pump. But yeah, it's going to come out anyway. So now let's get to this thermostat. We're going to pull these 3 right here, and this thing should be able to break loose, and we can get this out. Okay guys, so we got the two bolts and one nut here. So that has the thermostat here loose. You're gonna see some coolant coming out, that's good. And it's pink and not pink and slush with oil, so you know your head gasket is good. So no mixing right there. There is an O-ring inside here that we'll have to replace, but that comes with a kit. And then I want to remove this entire pipe system. So this is on a clamp, the hose is on a clamp. There's an O-ring that is supposed to be inside of this metal pipe that goes to the housing. So once we pop that out, but for now, I just want to take this out as a piece, one whole piece if I can. So there are two 10mm bolts here. There's one right here. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. So we're gonna pull this one, and then there's a second one right here, okay? So we're gonna pull those out. We should be able to get it out. Now this wire harness for the knock sensors, just for my purpose, there's on the, let's see, this is the right-hand side bank. There's a black connector, and if I move the camera over, you're gonna see a gray connector on the left-hand bank, all right? So just to note, I don't know if it makes a difference which one goes where. I'm gonna assume it does. So you disconnect those, and then you can take this harness off. Remember to put this back in, because if you put everything on and forget that, you're probably gonna have to take everything off again. So that's part of the reason why I have documented my videos, because you know, when I go back and watch, I can always see if I missed something, and you know, it just helps. So we're gonna pull these two 10mm bolts. Probably helps if you have a magnet at this point to pull these up, because they could fall down in the valley. And this stage, there's no harm if it falls down, just you're gonna have to find it. But just pull this, get a magnet, pop these out, and then we're gonna, see the pipe is loose. So now the idea is we're gonna try to bring everything that way and lift it up. So let's see if we can get that done. First time I'm doing this, so we're discovering just like you guys. Okay, that was interesting. So you gotta pull this piece off right here, and then you move this pipe forward and then kind of move it back and then pull it out. So I guess reverse is gonna be the same. You have to kind of come in like this. Oh, it's kind of tricky. You gotta come in a little bit like this, twist it. We'll have to figure it out, but again, the good thing is I had it on video. So however you just saw me take it out, that's how we gotta put it back in. And here's that thermostat. So we'll eventually pull these two bolts right here, replace the thermostat inside there, and put all of this back together. But now we get a good chance to clean inside the valley and clean this whole pipe and everything. So yeah, we're making some progress. So with the pipe removed, I now have much better clearance. So all of this area can be painted. I have a lot of access to paint it and get it looking as I want it to look. So you know, that's a very good thing right now. Moving back over to the water pump side, I'm gonna take this idler pulley off because I'm gonna replace this one. This is actually a 14mm. So let me get my 14. It's a 14mm, and one thing to note, this is your standard. Loosen to the left, tighten to the right. I believe on the tensioner it's the opposite thread. So if you're ever trying to change the pulley on the tensioner, which some people may choose to do, or just buy a new tensioner, if you're gonna pull that one, it's reverse thread. But this one here is your standard thread. Loosen to your left, tighten to your right. This pulley was kind of rough and rusted out, and I didn't want to, it was inexpensive to get one, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace this guy. Okay, so yeah, and here we go. We got this washer here, so I'll make a note of that. There's a washer, the washer on both sides, so when we go to reinstall, we'll know how to put it back in. So just giving everybody a better angle at this, there's a gasket on the back, which once we take off will be more visible, but there's also this rubber O-ring that sits in the seat. So don't forget, when you replace your water pump and you're putting back your thermostat housing, this O-ring has to sit in place, otherwise this thing will leak. I'm gonna go ahead and just put some tape over this, because you know, I try to be careful, so you know, as I work with the bolts and stuff, nothing falls in. So I like to put a plug or a tape. I don't have a plug the size of this. I'll just throw some tape over it for now. Just kind of reduces the risk of something falling inside of there and ended up in the bottom of the engine, right? So insurance. All right, this is kind of like a ghetto tape, but it will work for now. All right, next up, I'm gonna try to get the crank pulley off because there should be a crank seal back there. I did order it from Toyota, so we're waiting on that as well. And I think this, I have to get the specs. I think it's like 184 foot-pounds that's torqued down to, so it's pretty on there. Not Ryobi, but I gotta give this thing props. I put it on here, and sure enough, came right out. So yeah, props to Ryobi. You guys are awesome. So now we got the bolt out. Let me check if this pulley is loose. Yeah, it's actually loose. So we should be able to pull it off without having to get a, where's my glove? Without having to use a pulley puller. Feels like it's gonna come right out. There you go. Just like that. Bam! And there's that seal that we're gonna replace. So again, it's not leaking right now, as you can see it's dry, but for insurance, since we're in here, we're gonna remove the seal, replace it, clean all of this up, get it painted, get this painted, and set this car engine up like we do on this channel. Nice and clean, 100% reliable, all right? I'm satisfied with today's progress. Hope you guys are satisfied with today's progress. So we got the thermostat housing, the pipes out, we got the pulley out here and the crank pulley. We got some painted done. So next week what we're gonna do is get some more paint, finish painting this engine properly, at least the block and the head. And then we're gonna go ahead and replace the water pump. So we'll pull this off next week, get that put back on, changes out the seal because I should get those parts from Toyota by then. And then we'll just keep moving along, right? From there, it's valve covers, and then we're just gonna have to wait until my pocket can afford to buy some more of those expensive custom parts like wire harness, flywheel, etc, etc. But we're making progress. There's no rush. I have a Gen 5 MR2 that I rarely drive. There's the other one sitting outside. Honestly guys, this is where I have the fun, just working on the car in the garage. And I hope you guys are really enjoying it as much as I am. So with that said, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget, tell your friends and family to subscribe. And if you're watching and you're not subscribing, please subscribe. Thank you.